Hey guys, my name is Cassidy Scrivener, and this is my piece, Lifesaver. The theme for this piece is mental health awareness. I began by whitewashing the 4x6 board that I had, and then I reached out to my communities asking for people to write letters to themselves in their darkest times. I did this by creating an anonymous Google form and sending it out on all my social media platforms. I was surprised by how many responses I received, but also how in-depth people were willing to get with me. Truthfully, at the beginning of this piece, I had a much different idea of the direction I planned to go. However, after reading about 30 of the Google responses, I realized, this is going to be much heavier than I planned, and immediately reworked my entire game plan. As most of you know, I am working on a series called Read Between the Lines. This features female figures not bound by outlines, symbolizing one's uniqueness and lack of need for conformity. The bodies are made up of the background, each line representative of the choice that ultimately makes up who she is. Lifesaver will be the 7th piece in this series, starting in 2021. However, Lifesaver is slightly different in that I did involve the community in this piece, and all of the lines are made up of the letters that people had written to their younger selves, convincing themselves not to give up. After reading through several stories, I chose a female figure dangling from a black silk. This is representative of everyone's individual struggle with mental health. The figure is portrayed as being strangled by the fabric, tightening around her body, but her hand is keeping the fabric from choking her, choosing life. I feel a very strong emotional connection to this piece in that it's just so different than a lot of the other pieces that I've done. More so than just writing personal accounts down or reading these in-depth stories from my peers. I wanted this piece to be somewhat performative for me in that my process was just so much different than it normally is. Like I mentioned before, this piece ended up being much heavier than I expected it to be, in the best way possible. I decided early on that this is a piece that I wanted to be somewhat performative and that I wanted to commit all my time and energy to and have no distraction. So I sat down at about 7:30 the night before and worked entirely through the night. The piece was a total of 26 hours, and 24 of them were straight. I owe a huge thank you to everyone who was willing to get vulnerable and honest with me about their mental health. You made the piece what it is. I hope you all enjoy Lifesaver.